Hello there, and welcome. I'm doing a pre-recorded kind of thing, so I don't have the feedback or anything, but I want to thank you guys for joining me. YouTube, if you're here, I do need you to comment, subscribe, of course, and share, and of course hit that like button. I would appreciate that. We are waiting for an appointment, and while I'm doing that, I decided, hey, let's do a video. This has been on my heart for a while because I've been getting a lot of response, a lot of questions of how do you write. Now, I did do a video already on about writing, about getting started and everything, and this is more inspirational from my point of view feedback and just a little bit extra of that other video. I will put the link below of the other video, and it kind of interchanges with that one, but a little bit more information and especially personal stuff about me. So we're gonna get going. We got the handy dandy boat book, magic notebook from the Neo pen. I'll put the link about the Neo pen so you can find out more information. It records everything I write. I usually forget my notes, and then I said I'm gonna type it up later, and I don't type it up later, and then I lose the piece of paper. Well, with my Neo pen, I can't, because it records everything I write and sends it over to Google Drive. So a little bit about me. I am Sylvia Hubbard, and I am author and founder of Motown Writers Network. That's since 2000. We've been established where we help writers get to their literary goals and help readers get to Michigan authors. Let's see what else. I'm trying to see what else about me. I'm an info authorpreneur. That's what they call me. My websites are sylviahubbard.com, motownwriters.com, and of course howtoebook.org, where I show tips and tricks, out of the box things to get you writing, publishing, and marketing. So without further ado, since we're going into 2 minutes into this video, and this is going to be a short video, let's get it going. I talk with my hands. I do let you know that, and I'll try to stick away from and all that. I try to do very hard. So that's why I wrote notes. So occasionally I will look down like that and look at my notes, but please don't be offended. So don't forget, like what I do, like down there, subscribe, and comment. So inspiration to writing fiction, that's basically what we're going to be talking about. If you are nonfiction and you're listening to this, some of these tips can still be helpful in order for you to facilitate in initiating your writing endeavor. And this is kind of like the beginnings, the people who are beginning and the people who wants to begin again. They did one and now they want to begin again. So how to start. A lot of people who go to writers, they ask them, or authors, they'll ask them, well, how do you start writing? And we'll say, just do it. And even though that sounds, 3 simple words sound like the most complicated rocket science in the world, it's really not rocket science. It is a kiss. Keep it simple, silly. Basically, if you think too much about it, you'll never do it. You overthink it and say, I can't do it, and talk yourself out of it. Well, you're talking yourself out of blessings. So let's not do that. We don't need any more negative talk from anybody else, especially yourself. So, number 1, you guys know I love to count down, or I love to count up. So number 1, write what's in your head. Basically, that is it. That is the keep it simple kind of attitude. Write what's in your head. See a scene, write it down. Hear the voices, write it down. Smell the passion, write it down. Everything you think about the story, every time you think about the story, write it down. Even if it's not in a chronological or any kind of order, write it down immediately. That is the number 1 thing to do. Just do it. That's what we mean by that. Just write it down. Just write down your feelings. Write down what you feel. Write what you see in the story. Write things that you want to happen in the story. Just write it all down. Have a potpourri of special note pages where you can just write everything down and then add it to the story later on. use the five senses to kind of help you with that writing down thing. Use the five senses to express your story. And the five senses, of course, is the main five senses, of course, because people believe it's other senses. You know, the sight, the smell, the touch, the taste, the hearing. You know, use those five senses in order to facilitate in getting their the feelings or the passion or what you see and hear out on paper. That does help. So number 2, pick a genre you enjoy, but pick a specific market in that genre to write in. So for me, I write romance. That's my main genre. I love romance. I love that it's going to be somehow a happily ever after in the story, even if I throw everything at these characters. So what I do is that not only do I write romance, but then I pick a genre, a specific market. So in that market, I may pick suspense or thriller or erotic or romance, suspense, and erotic. I may pick 2 markets. And what you do is they say just write creatively, but in order to help you build a great story, write towards what people like in that specific market. So if I'm writing, let's say, romance, erotica, I'm going to be making sure that I'm writing these awesome love scenes or this great tension and a lot of sensualness inside of it in order to appease that market. But in a whole, I'm just catering towards writing something that I love, which is romance. They always say pick a genre that you love and a specific topic that is going to sell. People say that too. But pretty much that's basically it. You want to make sure you're going to write something that sells. Well, there are specific markets that just sell. Well, you can do that. Just pick that. That's what's going to sell. But you're writing freely in that specific genre to really get impassioned about the story, because that's what you want to do. You really want to love what you're doing. It shouldn't be forced. Now, I know my weak point when story writing would be more or less sci-fi or fantasy, and I'm not really good at that. I would love to one day, but at this point, I know I couldn't do it. I couldn't go over to fantasy from romance and then just say, oh, we're going to write this dystopian kind of thing, this, world building and all of that, and just be able to say, hey, I can do this. And I can't. So I write what I love. I write what I know. But I mix a little romance. I've listened to a little suspense, erotica, thriller, mystery. I go the whole gambit of drama, urban, and everything inside that romance category. So that's number 2. Pick a genre you enjoy, but pick a specific market in that genre to write. Now we're going to number 3. Number 3 would be write however you're comfortable. This is very important. If you're a pen and paper kind of person, continue to be the pen and paper kind of person. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm a pen and paper kind of person, and I'm on novel 37. I still feel comfortable writing things down. To prove it to you, I'll tell you. Actually, it's the story I'm working on, 3 Ways to Bliss. And basically, I have written my story down and in there. And in those pages is the story, because I feel comfortable just getting it out of my head and getting it on paper and just writing it down. And of course, with my Magic Neo pen, it's recording everything I write and can transcribe it later. So that's kind of cool. Like I said, if you're comfortable with pen and paper, do it. If you're comfortable sitting at the computer, do it. And if you're comfortable with voice transcribing, do it. But the point of it is to what? Just do it. Right. This is your baby. Conceive it however you want it. And however it makes you feel good. So I'm going to say that again. This is your baby. Conceive it however it makes you feel good. That is so important as a writer, because as you're beginning, especially as you're beginning to write, or you're trying to write a new story, it is so important that you're comfortable, because when you as the writer are comfortable, you're able to draw your reader more into the story. You're able to better fall in love with that story. So I mean, do what makes you comfortable, do what makes it feel good. So hey, go ahead, however you want to do it, do it. Use the outline to stay on track. Okay, use the outline to stay on track. I say this even though I'm a pantser. I literally do have like small notes here and there, or I'll literally write out a whole huge synopsis and then go in and add the sentences to it. So I try to stay on track though with that. And in terms of how you do it, it can be a small synopsis, it can be a large synopsis. I mean, literally, I do have a large synopsis. It turns into a large synopsis. Hold on. Let me see, can I get it from here? I know you're like, oh my gosh, she has so much in her car. This is the book I'm working on right now. It's called Beautiful. And this is basically, if you see how it's written out, I like literally, there is written out stuff in there, but it's just the forefront of what I want in the book. It's scenes, it's kind of like what I said. I put scenes and I put, dialogue if I hear it, and I put it in the book. I write it out, and then I go back once I'm typing it up and transcribing it. I'm adding the feeling and the senses and the tasting and touching and more of what I see, and recreating these visuals and things that I hear as I type it up. But as I'm writing, I'm just trying to get the basics of the story down. Okay, this is it. This is the plot. This is the arc. This is the crap hits the fan moment. This is, when everything's figured out. This is the hero's journey. It's going to go like this. But I don't make it like too detailed. I try to get through it. I do the shorthand and everything like that. But I 3 words, just do it. Right. You're getting pretty good at this. Okay, so read. Okay, these are extra tips, even though I'm all done, because like I said, it's going to be short. This is a short video to kind of inspire you to write, and that's what I'm trying to do. But these are quick other tips, off the side, bonuses, as I like to put it on Periscope. Bonuses. Okay, read your genre, but not your market. At the same time, especially if you're writing, you don't want to write in your market and try to, those thoughts get into there and you kind of, ease something in that you were reading. So this is what I do. I read my genre. So I can read another romance novel, but I usually, if I'm writing a suspense, I don't read a suspense. I'll read a contemporary or urban or something like that. I try not to confuse my brain with, okay, what story am I reading and what story am I writing? Even though there's 2 different areas, it still might get convoluted anyways. So read how to construct stories. So visit blogs, read books, get off of Amazon. I'll have some tips and tricks in the post itself. Some links to some books that are great for you. Rain Hall, I think her name is Rain. It's Rain Hall, I think, or Rain something. I'll put it down. I'll look it up and I'll put it down in the comments for you. So you can kind of get a gist of how story is. Dummy guides to writing, idiots guides to writing. Those are awesome. I love those. They are really awesome. Research about your characters, faults, illnesses, know what you're talking about, especially if you're dealing with drama, you're dealing with shooting, you're dealing with death. Make sure you're doing it right. Do justice to it. If you get writer's block, go back to the ladder. Start researching, start reading, start constructing the story. If you're really stuck and you can't write, stop what you're doing. Immediately stop what you're doing. Walk away from the project and do something new. Like this weekend, I literally climbed a mountain. I was kind of stuck. I wasn't coming up with any stories, like any new stories, anything out of the ordinary. And this weekend I climbed a mountain, Sugar Plum Mountain. And I know that sounds like kind of weird. You're like, okay, whatever. We went up to Marquette. And if you go to Marquette, you have to climb Sugar Plum Mountain. So that's what I did. And when I came down from the mountain, I had whole story in my head. It was just there. So you just do it. You just get away, do something new, come back, take that feeling and that new juices of doing something new, put it on paper and create something beautiful. So with that, I'm going to leave you guys. Make sure you check out my website, sylviahubbard.com. Make sure you subscribe there. Plus, subscribe to the video below and my website. Subscribe to me at YouTube. And I hope to see you guys later. And this is just an extra video to kind of keep you guys inspired. So write. And let me know how this helped you, or if you have any other tips. I adore that you are taking this step in writing. It is just touching my heart, even though we have not met. And if we do, you're gonna tell me that this video was like, damn, it hit the hammer on the nail, or the nail on the hammer. I can't think right now, but I gotta go. Bye guys.